Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to show you how to set up our streaming setup here at St. Mark. This video will be good for anybody who's trying to learn how to use our streaming setup or is interested in seeing how this process works. So at this point where I'm at, I'm logged into the computer. The computer is on, obviously. The camera in the back of the church is on. The camera in the balcony is on. And the two projector screens in the front of the church are on. So once we get all the hardware turned on, we're going to open our Google Chrome and we are going to Gmail. The account will already be signed into the Google account you need. So now we're looking for the most recent email it will be from Office Secretary. So I'm recording this on the 11th. So the last Sunday the last Sunday was the 7th. So setting this up on a Sunday morning, you'll be looking for the slides for whatever Sunday you're streaming on. So we're going to open the email and we're just going to hover over this PowerPoint. You can tell this is the PowerPoint we need because it's orange down here and then this black border is the background we use. So we're going to hover over this and then we've got three options here. We need to click the first one called download. Our file will start to download down here in the bottom left. And now we are done with Gmail. So we're going to go over to youtube.com. Once here, we're looking for this camera in the top right that says create. You're going to click on this and then go live. It will automatically set you up in the stream settings, in the stream section, sorry. Our stream settings will all be saved from last time, or should be. You won't have to touch anything down here in this section. And the only thing you'll have to touch at all in YouTube is this edit button. So once you've hit edit, you can edit everything, such as the date, description, stuff like that. So the only thing you're going to have to do here is change the date to what is. I'm recording this on the 11th, so my date is 2/11. We need to make sure our visibility is public, so when we start streaming, the people watching from home can watch it. Our thumbnail. So this thumbnail should save and should be there every time. But if not, this will probably be a gray box that gives you the option to add a thumbnail. So if you need to add the thumbnail, you'll click on this box to add a thumbnail, and it will open you to the files. So we're going to go over here and find pictures. And now we're looking for the picture. It should be right there in front, labeled St. Mark thumbnail. So you'll double click on that and then the thumbnail should go in here just like this is. You don't need to select any playlist. The last thing you need to select is that no, it's not made for kids. Now, this might be confusing to some people, but the way YouTube works is they'll put certain restrictions on the videos that we don't want on our videos. If we say it's made for kids, like you won't be able to go around there's all sorts of little things that we don't want on our videos, so we just say no, it's not made for kids. So once you have the no, it's not made for kids set, our thumbnail, and make sure the visibility is public and your date's right, you can click save on here, and we are done with YouTube and Google for right now. So you can minimize this, make sure you minimize everything and don't accidentally close out of it. So we're going to go back here, and now we're going to go back down here to the left and open the program called PTZ Optic. This is our camera program that our camera runs off of, the one in the, not up in the balcony. This controls the camera down by the computer. So once you have this screen open, we're going to want to go to camera 1. It will turn dark gray once you've selected it. And to make sure everything's working, we're going to go up here, select the window tab, and hit the drop-down preview window. It will take you to a preview of what the camera's seeing right now. Mine's on the lectern because it was the last shot used. So once you see this, or anything in the church, whatever it might be, you know our camera's connected. So to control our camera, and we'll test the control of our camera, you're going to use the controller that's sitting on the desk. To move it, the left side of the controller below the joystick, it's called the directional pad. So it's there's like indentations. It almost looks like a cross. And you can move that, push those down, left, right, up, and down to control our camera. So that's how you move it if you need to move it during services. Examples of when you might need to move it is if our slides are in the way of pastor talking, or if pastor's walking around when he's preaching and you'll need to follow him. To zoom in and out on this camera, if you're looking at it from the top down, there are 4 buttons. The 2 in the back you don't touch at all. The 2 in the front on the controller, they are labeled LB and RB. You can press those to zoom in and out. So if you need to zoom in and out while you're streaming, that's how it's done. So once you've got that all working and you know that works, you can minimize this and minimize this tab. So the next step is we're going to open Easy Worship. This is our program that we put the slides in to display. So once this opens, it will open on the second monitor, so the right-hand monitor, and you know it did it right if the projector screens in the front of the church have gone black. So it looks like they're off. They're not really off. So this will usually be on your second screen. So once you've got this up on your second screen, you're going to go down here to the files, and we're going to open this. So now that we've got this open, we're going to go to downloads, and we're going to look for the file we just downloaded for Dawn. It will be labeled with the date. So 2021, February on the 7th. And she'll have a title for whatever the service is called that week. So you're going to click on this and then drag it over into this far left section labeled schedule. Up here right above this document, it's a schedule. So we're going to drop it in here, and then it will start loading in that section. Okay, so now you can tell how it just went from a darker gray to a lighter gray. Your file's loaded. So now that we've got that in, you're also going to keep on this file page, and we're going to go down to documents, and then we're looking for service PowerPoints, and you're going to drag those announcements into the schedule section just like you did with the slides. Those have both loaded in, so we can minimize this. Now to see these and be able to control it, we're going to double click on this first one. So now this live section pops up with all of the slides for that Sunday. So this follows the order of worship exactly. This follows the order of worship, so as service is progressing, you'll need to change these slides to keep up. You have to manually do this and click through them. However, on our announcements, and you display these before service and after service, you just have to click on these, and these rotate automatically every 15 seconds. Now, if you look up at the projector screens while you're clicking through them, you'll see the screens change. And for the service slides, there's no issue. But for our announcements, the taskbar in Windows screen is up behind it. So to fix that, there's this live button in the top right corner. It flashes when it's projecting to the screens. So we're just going to click it once. The projector should go back to the Windows screen. And then if you press it again, so live is flashing again, everything should be fine. So now that we've got our YouTube up, our camera is up and working, and our Easy Worship is up, the last thing we need to open is called OBS, and this is where we control the stream and send it out to YouTube. So usually you double click on this, and it will open on your left-hand monitor screen. Mine's a little different because I already have it open because I'm recording, so I'm going to bring that over here. So this program looks kind of intimidating, but it's fairly simple overall. So we have these two big sections up here. This one on the left side is labeled preview. So this is the screen that if you select a new setting from what it's on, a new scene I should call it, then this is what you're going to before you've transitioned. And I'll explain that in a second. So this right-hand side, this is the important side. Whatever you see on this right-hand screen right here, that is what your audience is seeing and what everybody on YouTube is seeing. So this right-hand side is the important one. Down here, these are all our scenes. So there's one basically for every section of the church. So like there's the altar, balcony, choir, solo, pulpit, lectern, and then there's also those, and there's another version of those with the abbreviation slides. So the difference is say we wanted to go to the altar. If you select just altar, then the camera will automatically go to the altar and you'll be set. But if you have slides that also need to go with whatever is happening on the altar, you'll select altar slides. So you can see on my left-hand screen, I can't transition because I'm recording. Oh, wait, maybe. Okay, but if you select altar, there's no slides there. If you select altar, there's slides. So now you can tell what this preview window does is you can see what you're going to next. So so let's just say the scripture readings were just done at the lectern. So you're already on lectern, and you're going to need, pastor is going to speak in between the pulpit and lectern. That is called chancel. So we're going to select chancel, or we'll say chancel slides. And it's going to show up. It will be highlighted in blue down here, and then you'll see the slides in the right corner. The picture won't change because it's all one camera, and the camera is still showing what you still have it on. So when you're ready to switch the camera view, you're going to hit this transition button. So now the camera's transitioned to what you were at. And so you transition your camera every time it goes to somewhere new. So we're at the lectern, you press lectern, transition. That part's fairly simple. This sources tab you won't have to touch. Don't worry about that at all. This audio mixer you won't have to touch. This scenes transition you won't have to touch. And then over here on our control settings, the only buttons you'll have to touch over here is you'll hit start streaming, and this would usually say start recording if I wasn't recording already. So you start both of those at the same time when you're starting your stream, which we start our stream at 10:35 every Sunday. So clock hits 10:35, you're going to start those. Now, before you can start those, the screen we're going to start at is called the starting soon screen. So as you can see, this has our slides and just a couple other things. So you're going to want to make sure you transition this so it's on the program side so you can see it. So once you have this over there and this is all set up, I lied. You will have to touch the sources thing at one point. So this starting soon screen is what our, so once you start at 10:35, this is the screen that goes up. And it's just something for people to see before anything starts. So you'll find something, like during Christmas time, I would use the Christmas tree. Now I'm just using the background shot of the church. So you'll use the controller, pick a spot you would like. I usually do this scene with the cross and everything. So once you get it to something you think that looks nice, and you're in starting screen, you're gonna go into sources, press this button that's labeled PTZ Optic, and then you're gonna go into filters, and filters will open up, and the only thing is this thing called blur, and there's an eye. You wanna click that eye, and then you can close it. So now what that does is this blurs the camera. So our camera's blurred before we start. I just think it looks nicer and more professional. So once you have the camera blurred, you're going to go up here in OBS to this Tools tab and then all the way down to Scripts. And now you have a timer. So it's already set to 10 minutes. So this is another thing you have to start as soon as you start streaming and start recording. But to get the timer up there, you press this reset button. So now I've pressed reset. So it's displaying the 10 here. So now also you want to make sure you have what's on my preview section in your program. So 10:35 hits. You're going to start streaming, start recording, and then go down to the Scripts tab and start the timer. Hey, post-recording Jacob here. Actually left out a part in our original video, so I'm going to cut in and show that step now. So after you've been in OBS and you've hit start streaming and start recording, we're actually going to come back to YouTube here that we have open. And you're going to want to, it shouldn't look like this anymore. Right now mine says connecting to streaming software because I'm not streaming right now. But once you start streaming and it connects to YouTube, it'll take like 30 seconds to a minute. You should see a picture here of what you're putting out, so what you see in that program side of OBS. And so you know it's connected. These will probably change to like view count or something. It will change and you'll be able to tell when you're live. Things will say live. This will say something such as stream is good and going. So once your stream is up in here, we're going to come up and we're going to share the stream out to Facebook. So we're going to go to this share arrow up in the top right. Your service will say there. It will say live and not upcoming. But then you're going to go to Facebook. Right now it's on my personal account. It will be switched to a St. Mark account shortly. I haven't gotten to that step yet, but you'll go to share in a group, and then you want the group St. Mark Lutheran Church. So you want to share it to our church Facebook page, and then just type a simple message, service is live, and then you can post that. So once you've posted that, I'm not sure if this will close automatically or not, but you can close out of this and then go back to this page and you can continue streaming. And now you just let this run until service starts. And if something's going on, somebody's talking, and this timer hit blank and pastor's still not up there, that's okay. You can just leave it blank and it'll be fine. So once pastor gets up to that chancel area, we're going to want to, first of all, go to chancel. And, well, that's where it usually starts services from. But if there's something else going on, then you'll go there. So you'll want to be there or have this ready. And once he gets up there, you're going to select PTC Optic and then go back to this filters. And now we see this eye again. We want to click it, make sure there's a line through it, and that our camera's not blurred. Okay, so our camera's not blurred. We'll hit transition, and it will go right to pastor, and then you'll start the service. So now, just throughout the service, all you have to do is follow in the church what's going on. So if they're at the altar, put it on altar. And at the same time, you have to be moving throughout, easy worship, moving the slides along. So once we get through the whole service and the service is done and over with, congratulations, you made it through your first service. So you can end the service on this scene that's called End of Services. And just show like the main shot just like you did in the beginning to put it out and make sure you have the announcements running on this. So I usually end the stream when I've got through all the announcements. So like this last week, I had so many announcements. I had 7. So I let the slides run through all of them once. They go for 15 seconds. So once I get through all of these and go back to this first one, then you can hit stop streaming and stop recording. The hard part's done. You've made it through your first stream. Or many streams. So now, once you're done streaming, these should go back to saying start. You can close out of EC Worship. Just hit this X. You don't need to save anything here. You can close this camera program. The scripts tab can be open. OBS can be closed. You can close these files right now. And then we're going to go back to YouTube. Now YouTube will take a second to finish, but once it finishes, a pop-up will come up in the center of the screen and show you stats from your screen. You can just ignore those and there will be a dismiss button. Now it does take a little while for this to catch up, so you might be done with the other stuff at that point. But also at this point, you can turn the projectors off at the front of the screen, turn the camera on the balcony off, and turn the camera in the sanctuary off. So now, once you're done with this and you've pressed dismiss, we're going to open a new tab and go back to YouTube, actually. So there's a couple things we have to do here. We're actually going to open YouTube twice. So once you've dismissed this screen, this tab can be closed. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually upload that recording of the service. We do this because sometimes if we just directly upload the stream, it will cut things out. Sometimes it's really weird and finicky, so we don't want to risk anything being missed, so we just use our recording as a safety net. So we're going to go to create, and this time you're going to go to upload video. So you're going to select the file, and then you want to go to videos here, and wherever you just streamed, it will be labeled that with year, month, and date. It should be out here. So you'll select that. So I'm just going to go select last week's service. So now it's going to come up with this page. You're going to name it St. Mark Service, and then type in whatever the date is for that day. So I'm recording on the 11th. Nothing goes in the description. Here's the upload thumbnail again. So we're going to upload thumbnail. Go to pictures, St. Mark thumbnail. This time, though, we are going to select playlist drop down and go to St. Mark services. No, it's not made for kids. Next, nothing here. Just click next. And then make sure this is on public. And then once you've done that, you can publish this. I'm not going to publish this right now, but you would press publish. And then, actually, I'll do it for the video. So now it's going to come up with this. So you want to leave this tab open. So now we're going to go to this tab, back to another YouTube, and we're going to press on our icon in the top right here. We're going to go to your channel, then manage videos. And we want this that says content. So this shows all our videos we've put up. We're going to go to this live tab. And you want to find whatever service you just streamed. It should be the first one up here. And it will be labeled as public. So it will look like this. It will have a green eye. We're going to select that drop down and switch this to private. So once you've switched that to private, you can close out of this tab, close this tab out, and you can leave this screen up. You can shut off the second monitor and just leave the computer running and the one monitor on. And you're all set. Thank you for streaming our services. Many people greatly appreciate it, and I especially do. Thank you for the help.